Hi, my name is Steve Adams. I'm the CEO and founder of Tiger Medical Institute. And so I wanted to give you my origin story, both me personally of how I came to this place of transformation to elite health, as well as the founding of Tiger Medical. You see, before I ever got involved with this kind of work, I spent 15 years in high pressure corporate banking roles. My last role as a banker was president of a regional president of a bank. And I also spent 21 years growing from a single location, a retail chain, to over 40 units in 6 states and 1,000 employees almost. And extensive travel for 20 years. And so when I arrived at age 50, the bill came due on my body. I was taking care of everyone and everything other than myself. And so here's what it looked like at age 50. I was sleeping only 2 to 3 hours a night. 2 to 3 hours a night. I was in bed for 6 or 7 hours, but I was only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And this went on for a decade. I was completely exhausted. I had acid reflux, IBS, cramping, rolling bouts of constipation for 25 years. I also couldn't focus, and the fatigue and the brain fog working together really was starting to put downward pressure on my performance as well. I was struggling from anxiety, and toward the end of my run in this company that, with a great team, we scaled it. I got to the point where I just felt nothing, had, irritability issues, wasn't performing well, wasn't relating well with my wife. And I got with a neuropsychologist who helped me understand for the first time something called my autonomic nervous system and a concept of heart rate variability. And when he measured mine, he said, "You're in trouble. You are really not doing well. You have a single digit HRV score, meaning below 10 on the MS scale." And he told me that that was correlated with 9 of the 10 leading causes of death in the US, but that I could train it up. And as I trained it up, my HRV would actually correlate with peak performance and good health. And so this began a journey for me where I went out to find answers. You see, in the traditional medical system, I was not getting good answers. I was telling my doctor and specialist how I was feeling, and it always came back. Everything looks like in the averages, there's nothing that we can diagnose specifically. So, they would say, rest, don't work as hard, don't travel as much, eat a little bit better, take your reflux medication, take medication for your, over the counter type things for your constipation, get a little more exercise. It was all generic. Now, are these people bad? No, a couple of them were my friends. They're great people. The problem is they operate in a system that restricts the kind of care they can give based on what they'll pay. So I started to look elsewhere. And I met a guy named Dr. Matthew McNamee on the West Coast who showed me that there is a way to do this that is a completely different approach. It's focused on root cause analysis, looking at the underlying mechanisms that are driving all of my symptoms. He said, now it's going to require me to invest, to be a health investor rather than just a consumer of healthcare that insurance companies will pay for. But he said, if I was willing to do that, he said, he would be able to test me in a completely different way and be able to get to the root cause. And so I jumped on it. And, he right away emphasized continuing my heart rate variability work, my stress management work. He gave me some more things to improve my sleep. And then he did robust, extensive root cause testing in the areas of genetics, my gut biome health, my hormones. He looked at numerous markers in my blood panel, looking at inflammation and oxidative stress. And you know what he found out? There was a lot wrong with me. I had a lot of physiological imbalances to work on. My inflammation numbers were not good. I had a CRP score of nearly 6. My HRV was still very low. I had multiple genetic markers in my brain that prevented me from handling stress well. I also found out I had leaky gut, which was driving inflammation. And I had dysbiosis, I had an imbalance of good and bad bugs, okay? And so what Dr. McNamee created for me was a highly personalized medical plan. And then he spent a year coaching me on how to implement the lifestyle changes that were necessary for me to restore fully my health as well as optimize it for a greater health span. I'll talk more about that in a minute. So what were the results? Well, overall, there was a complete transformation. My HRV improved to the 40s and 50s, which is like a 400 to 500% improvement on the MS scale. My sleep scores in Aura improved from the low 40s and 50s to 80s. My readiness score, my Aura ring, went from 60s to 80s consistently. My acid reflux, my IBS, the cramping, the constipation, within 4 months, completely went away. And I was off all medication, all over-the-counter treatments for constipation. For the first time in 25 years, in my gut, in my gastrointestinal tract, felt good. And my brain fog, my anxiety, my irritability were all gone. My performance was back at a peak level. My energy was fully restored. I didn't need caffeine to get through my day anymore. My body aches were gone. I played football in college, and I thought just because I did that in my 50s and 60s, whatever time I had left, that was what my lot in life was going to be. Well, by lowering my inflammation down below a CRP score of 1.0, it was below that, my inflammation was reduced because my gut was healing. All my gut markers were improved as well. My leaky gut was healed. I didn't have the aches and pains anymore. I'm able today to do high intensity interval training. I can do free weights. I can run, and none of that bothers me anymore. So today, 5 years later, I'm literally a new person. And I'm empowered now to maintain elite health for the rest of my life because I've been educated in how to do that for many, many more years to come. And I've stacked the odds in my favor of greater longevity. And that's all we talk about at Tiger. We don't talk about we're going to extend your longevity. We talk about stacking the odds in your favor because no one can predict that. But what we can say is that we can improve your health span, the number of years that you can enjoy good health. And I believe today at 59 years old, I started this journey 9 years ago, and then with Dr. McNamee 4 years ago, I believe today I'm empowered to live completely differently in my 60s and 70s. And I hope well into my 80s and 90s. And this really matters because this vision I have for Tiger Medical, I want to pursue this for 20 years and have a greater impact on the world and help people have the same story that I had. But also, I have a brand new grandson. I want to be around for him and influence him and help him grow and see him grow into a young man and have the mobility to do that and to see the world with my wife and my family. Those are all things that are possible now because of this. And so, the out of this transformation story then is Dr. McNamee and myself decided to partner and build what today is Tiger Medical Institute. Since 2020, we've been helping driven professionals create a new story in their lives, just like I have. And that's what I want for you. And so thank you for the opportunity to share this story with you. And I wish you a good day. Thank you.